everyone, Alex here, and today we're going to talk about Peacemaker. I unlocked him, was a bit lucky because I pulled this recruit times 10, didn't get him, was okay. Let's save the 5 per day that you need to have for the dailies to be able to buy more stuff in the shop. Then I got this one here that says we have a bug that when you rank people, it gives you like an error message and it looks like you didn't rank them, but then if you reset the game, if you started and loaded, then you will have them properly ranked, like I did with Peacemaker, but it doesn't count either for this one here that they need to send everyone. Since we cannot rank them twice at rank 6, they should send this through inbox as they did. And also with the security plan, I did rank him 3 times from 5 to 8 and didn't got it. But for me that's a positive because I got those 10, I pulled him again and was the second pull, so I have another 8 for legendary guarantee. If I'm unlucky from now onwards, I don't think I will pull him like with a legendary guarantee extra. I want to test him to see what we can do with him, but pull him there, bought his fragments so I can rank him up, also use 28 metal, and as I'm looking at those, since I haven't unlocked him, I'm not very keen on buying the super encrypted tokens. I much rather buy like Mr. Terrific or even like Guy's fragments here, because okay, for 3 pulls for a duplicate that are very low chance, 1% every time, you can be closer to rank up those characters. If I didn't have him unlocked and the only way is pulling super encrypted tokens, I would prioritize super encrypted tokens. I don't know here how I feel about the legendary characters, probably not great. If some people are very close to ranking up Cyborg, I guess. I don't have Cyborg, I don't plan on upgrading Bright further, she will be very low on my list. But maybe I won't buy many of the super encrypted tokens here, and I'm gonna buy a bit more of Mr. Terrific's fragments, I don't know. To Peacemaker. Peacemaker, for me the best gear for him is 4 HP and 2 attack. Personally, and I'm mentioning it because basically the Peace times 4, as I've said in some videos, is a lot more important because you can gain plus 3% HP and plus 6, so it's 9. This just has the smaller stat boost. You can be more flexible because maybe here you would like an HP bonus that's a lot stronger. If you have this maxed out, it gives you 13.4 plus 4.5% HP bonus. So having like a 3% attack bonus where you can get more HP bonus, I think it's kinda dumb. What I'm gonna do, most likely, because I have this laying around with HP bonus, I'm probably gonna do 2 crit. So I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna put this here with crit because it has HP bonus. Where is it? And I'm gonna put one with HP here. I don't really care to have crit on him. We'll see what we can do exactly with this. But probably like this second doesn't matter too much. He also benefits from crit, maybe not too much in the mirror match, but he's not also a big damage dealer, so you don't care to have him doing a lot more damage. Also, he doesn't do something like where you really care to have guaranteed damage, like Drain, for example. He does that passively, just by when you kill the opponent, so more damage or crit will help with that. Originally I was thinking and considering to put speed on him because at the end of the round, all of Peacemaker's allies gain 1 stack of shelter. That's very strong, they gain 50% less damage. But what I found out, this happens at the end of a turn, like it applies. Let me show that. Let's do an elite attack with him. Okay, so that's the team I'm using him in. I'm gonna explain later why, but I want you to take a look like where the gold is on top of Grod's face, where it says one turn has passed, where reinforcements also apply. Then everybody is gonna get one stack of of shelter. Even Peacemaker, it says like he grants it to him, his allies. I see him also granting it to himself. That's nice. And let's have them play a little bit to see why I. Okay, it's probably very big Sinestro here, otherwise he's a lot tankier. Yeah, didn't really work great for my team. So let's do one more just to showcase. Let's go for his kit, and we're gonna do one more attack if I have available. So yeah, this basically applies at the end of a game's turn, if that makes any sense. So it is not affected by Peacemaker speed or by any character of your team or the opponent's team. Speed's not like gaining energy where you need to have 5 characters do a basic attack, so you want to have speed on your full team. It's not like some other kits like Zatanna's, for example, advanced attack, where she grants allies frantic and she does that on her own turn. So you want her, and most people's advanced attack, you want them to go faster to do them more often. This happens passively at the end of a turn, so no reason at all to have speed on Peacemaker. You have speed on him, you don't. It's exactly the same point in the match where this is gonna happen. You just want to have him alive for this to happen. So one more reason to have HP on him. You want to kill people, so you want to have Peacemaker helping a little bit with killing people. So, and you have like some extra gear, one more spot to put an extra stat. Always attack is nice. And the crit is probably the second best for him because he's at the moment in a crit team for me, and he will help the team with that. I'm not sure when the new characters, his teammates, Judo Master and Vigilante, get released, if I'm gonna switch them around and put them on a different team. I don't like him particularly, in theory at least, with debuff, because the debuff he puts out on one of the debuff, because with his basics he puts out armor break, which you have many different sources of in the debuff team already. But Eagly is putting out fragile that reduces physical damage resistance by 10% per stack. In your debuff team, you rely to a big degree for Sinestro to do damage, and all of Sinestro's attack are superpower damage, so you don't benefit at all from having fragile on characters. Also, you have Raven that does her ultimate relatively, and even her basic a lot because she has speed, but she does her ultimate relatively often. Have her usually at the third spot to do her ultimate, and it's also superpower damage. So it's a little bit wasted that don't synergize perfectly together. That he's a tank that you may need an extra tank on your debuff team, and he puts out armor break that can help you do more damage. And he also, like, if you have Batman and Grodd and or even Sinestro in the team, Peacemaker does do a little bit more damage per armor break the opponents have with his ultimate. But in a team like this, you probably would have him do his ultimate last or second to last, so this will happen more rarely. And if nobody will benefit except someone like Batman or Deathstroke if you have him in this team, or like Superman, DCU, or normal Superman. basic only ability. So it's it's a little bit wasted having the fragile with them. I haven't tested them extensively together. I know I have many tanks that I already like to fill spots for the debuff team, so I much rather have Peacemaker with a team that benefits more from fragile and they synergize better together. So, and I also considered, okay, he's gonna put out more armor breaks in by having speed, but I much rather have him survive. Being a tank, having plus 9% HP bonus will help him with that, and put out a little bit more damage. Either to attack would probably be my first gear that I would try, but since I have the HP bonus on crits that I normally wouldn't use, and at the moment I have them in an elite arena team that benefits from having more crit a lot, so I will be running this type of gear. Worst case, I'm putting the HP bonus with crit on Bride, and I'm putting like attack bonus on Peacemaker. Bride already has her, when she dies and revives, she does a free attack that always crits if you have her emblem at rank 20. But so it's a little bit of a waste having a crit on her, but I also would like to have HP bonus on her. So worst case, I'm gonna change those around and put like HP bonus on Peacemaker. But Peacemaker, okay, his ultimate, he probably won't do it very often, but it hits everyone, so more chances to crit. And at the moment we have him with this team that gains crit chance and crit damage, so he can benefit a little bit from that. When an ally crits, your team will get superpower resistance, so they will get less damage. So even with his basics, or if he gets to do an ultimate, Peacemaker can help with that. And you also have a little bit of a benefit, like you would already have like 2 stacks of Frantic with from Zatanna on the Peacemaker, so okay, he already has like a 20% and a little bit from his stats that I'm gonna build a higher. He will be already having like 20% crit, or I don't know how much, because I don't have this. So another 20 from Zatanna, another. Okay, it can add up. You also have like with Wonder Woman that he might go many times together, especially like with the Convergence being the same color Mighty that I don't have a great team in. He might get some play with her, and she gives her allies more crit damage. So if Peacemaker crits, that's one more reason to. I kinda like crit also as a secondary option. That's what I'm trying to say. If you had all the gear the same, probably to attack, it's not a big difference, like having more 5% more crit chance or 3% more damage. He's a physical damage dealer anyway, so okay, when he goes against an opponent's Peacemaker, no one. First of all, there aren't like massive damage dealers. Maybe if you have them very big, but I don't think one Peacemaker will do more damage to the other, and this will be a massive difference, more HP based. So let's talk his team here. Also, there's something to mention, an idea of a team with him that I'm not running, but especially for an early game player, I would see that being a reasonable team to try. And because he isn't shown, that's why I wanted to show it here. He isn't shown in his area of effect characters in Green Arrows, but he is the second character that can activate that. So that's nice, because most area of effect characters are a DPS. Usually you run a team with a Constant Green Arrow, a Wonder Woman, and then people would throw like Zatanna and Lex. You have 3 DPS, that's a bit too much in a team. Yes, Wonder Woman has some damage reduction on her kit and can kinda fill the front row, but it would be a lot better to have Constantine on a different team, that he also sacrifices your HP, that some situations I don't like with them, and you can have a second tank and so you have two tanks. You have the team synergy active that you will be doing 16% more area of effect damage, so you could have like Wonder Woman and Green Arrow do a lot of damage. They're both physical damage dealers that will benefit from the fragile that Peacemaker puts out, and then you could do something like this. Even have Peacemaker do an area of effect because he will be doing like 12% more 16% more damage, and he can apply silence to the opponents. And yeah, I think this can be very nice. And with Zatanna, maybe he can survive a little bit more by having the life steal. So that's an option, especially for early game or for some people in Elite Arena. But at the current season, we have a buff to anti-heroes, and Red Hood is an anti-hero, so I would already in many situations prefer Red Hood over a Green Arrow team with a Wonder Woman. The 20% crit damage is very nice. He gives superpower resistance. He does a lot of single target damage. He can die, revive, and do massive damage. One more ultimate for free. He can go in the front row. He now has 50% more stats. That definitely makes it worth it to use him. So I did replace Two-Face. That was the person that added the list on the team. Also, I want to mention something. I don't want this video to be too much about that, but they changed something here with the Elite Arenas that people are discussing. So for once, if you go in the Victor Arena, or at least people found out about this now. It's the first time I'm seeing this. So it says here that after the season is upgraded, all players will have their character set to level 200, the reinforcement to level 1, the artifact the same, their equipment all epic 1 to 15, level 15, and you just have the sets that you will already have chosen on your characters. And then let's talk about that. I mostly wanted to talk about the line afterwards, the paragraph, but these people just saw this here. Having participated in this season's Victor's Arena, I didn't see that being active. I lost because the opponents had a massive level advantage over me. It just sounds weird, like my understanding reading this and seeing people commenting about it is that this will apply from the next Elite Arena season, but only for the Victor's Arena. For once, I don't like that in the sense that there are many people that are spend money with a promise that they will be getting more of the rewards, and especially in Victor's Arena are the most rewards that you get, many diamonds and Elite Arena coins that you can spam stuff and whatever. Now you get a cosmetic on top of that, like by spam, like you can buy many stuff here, many fragments, and even like a lot of Inertonite. If you are like a new well, you will need those to upgrade your characters. So this is kinda it's bad for those people that spend money with a promise of getting rewards, and now they are pulling the rug under them while they have spent the money. Personally, this is something that benefits me because I'm a smart player, make smart teams, and I can lose very often because people have a level advantage over me. So I'm kinda, because I'm in the first server that was merged with the 9th, I have many big spenders in here that if this applies, that everyone will have the same level and the artifacts and whatever, and the reinforcements, I have an advantage over them, or I don't have the disadvantage that I have by having spent less money. So I was kinda like, the best I can do is top 8 probably, maybe 4th if I'm very lucky with both the how I'm with who are the people I'm paired with and in the matches, but like 8th, 16th, maybe I'm unlucky and I just go 64th or whatever. This gives me more of a chance to compete. For one, it's weird because it doesn't apply to Elite Arena, so you have to fight to go into Elite Arena, the top 64, but then it applies in Victor's Arena. Also, I like empathize with people that have spent money to compete in that and they are losing this advantage, especially if they spent recently and particularly to compete in Elite Arena because they were losing or whatever. I understand that's probably having a PvP whales have an advantage over the other people is a way of a game of making money. While this benefits me, and I kind of find it interesting that okay, is a challenge that the skill will play more, will go more into play. It's weird that it doesn't apply in Elite Arena and it applies in Victor's Arena, but also it's a change and it screws over some people that spend money. Like they could make a different, a third arena, like a skill arena. I don't know how they call it. You put like a everyone or as a tournament or once per 2 weeks or whatever, or just a top 64. You also put them there and you give some extra rewards. And this is just for skill, and they want to test that. Cool, awesome. They can try to make a new game out of that and don't have people having pulled the rug under them. So I covered that to some degree. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to mention more the the paragraph after that says in Elite Arena, Victor's Arena, you receive 50% damage reduction at the beginning of the battle, and at the end of each round you gain 15% more damage, and at the end of the 5th round you gain 15% more healing reduction for each round. The healing reduction, I can understand, it's a little bit annoying going like a block team versus block team with healers. It can take many turns, and you kinda need the damage amplification happening every turn because you kinda want to have one team killing the other, and you don't want people to have to, if they want to watch their matches, to have to always look at 15 turns. And if you're curious what happens if you go to 15 turns in Elite Arena, the person that has the healthiest team, like if you have 3 people alive and the opponents have 2, you win. And this has happened to me. I have checked but okay. And it just so that I don't know if this was always there, but this basically targets the Wonder Woman, Two-Face, Red Hood, Zatanna team composition. Because if you start with 50% less damage and gain more per round, the whole way this team is working is you have the most damage that you can have on Wonder Woman. You have crits on her by Zatanna Frantic. You have a crit damage with and crit chance with if you have her smaller with Red Hood's team synergy active. Then you have Two-Face giving damage amplification to the team. That basically for Wonder Woman, that if you have him in the back row, it will give them 16 or 18% more damage amplification, the back row characters. So you betting on this damage amplification, crit damage and everything to go fast with Wonder Woman, kill a couple of people, or even more, and then have like Two-Face probably in the front row, not Two-Face, Red Hood probably in the front row, die, and he revives after 2 turns, kill someone with his ultimate, and you win. Now that this is in place, which I don't know if this will be from the next season. I haven't seen this team, even with Two-Face in there, really doing a lot less damage at the start of a match. I don't know, maybe it was always this case in Elite Arena and I haven't noticed that, but now being aware of that, that's probably a new thing, but I don't know. If you start with 50% less damage, this strategy becomes a lot less winning, and your best bet is to have a team that has more sustain in them, and you can, even with Wonder Woman, you can reach a second ultimate with her and kill some people, or have a second character in there that helps with the damage. So just betting on Wonder Woman's ultimate, killing a lot of people quickly, her first ultimate. For once, they also have released many teams that are more survivable, so especially the block team, you cannot really do that, because also Blue Beetle gives damage reduction for the back row, and you have some people reviving with Raven in some situations. You have a Superman DCU that spends one turn with Invulnerable, and he's also very beefy and has physical damage reduction, so he gets less damage from her. So this is kind of okay. I removed Two-Face and put here Peacemaker, because Peacemaker is a beefy tank, especially this season where he's gonna have 50% more of his stats. So having Peacemaker in here, you normally would have like Lex and he's doing shields, but his shields become more and more expensive every turn, and Peacemaker, and he consumes energy to do that. But if you have Peacemaker, just at the end of every turn, there will be a shelter on your team. They get 50% less damage from the opponents. So he basically does something similar that helps with the survivability without consuming ultimate energies. And being a beefy tank in the front row that heals your team when you kill opponents, that with this team it's a big damage team with Wonder Woman, that very likely you are gonna kill like 2-3 people. Maybe the opponents will have a Wonder Woman alive in the back row when they get to do an ultimate before you and they kill you. So, but if you have killed like a couple of other members, maybe a front row, because Wonder Woman's advanced attack now targets the front row, and you can have a Red Hood also doing an ultimate on the character in the front row. You're very likely to kill people quickly with this team. So yes, maybe the opponent's big damage dealers are still alive in the back row, but having healing because you have killed people might help them survive, and the shelter that will maybe protect you from an opponent's Wonder Woman ultimate that will now deal 50% less damage from the next attack. And because you have killed one person on the opponent's front row, even like a Red Hood, like a mirror match, you now have 10% more HP healed on your team, and you survive. That's basically the reason. He's also like takes a lot less damage from crits and from physical damage dealers, so he can help with a mirror match in this. He puts out Fragile, so he helps offensively. For once, you have Eagly that is hitting every turn and does some damage, but he helps a little bit with that, but he also puts out Fragile, so you have your big damage dealers like Wonder Woman or even Red Hood dealing more damage if they hit into Fragile. That's nice to help offensively that way, or even like with armor breaks with his basic, they will have less defense and crit resistance, so you can dominate this team. His ultimate hits everyone. I haven't seen him do massive damage as he is, but he can help clean up in some situations. So at the moment I really like him in a team comp like this. As I said, you can also try something with Green Arrow and Wonder Woman. Let's try to do one more attack if you have it. So I'm gonna skip the first two. Let's see also the level difference. So this is like 13 levels above me. Let's skip the first matches. Okay. Okay, let's try to see them in action. So there's a Wonder Woman in there. Let's also see like a Peacemaker being a little bit of a tank and having Wonder Woman hit him with an advanced attack. Usually deals a lot of damage. So you see, we don't necessarily kill them quickly, so it's best to have a little bit more survivability. Yes, you would have like 18% more damage, but it wouldn't be enough. Look, Peacemaker like took that like a champ, very beefy, especially now having the extra stats for this season. Okay. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I kind of want him to have the position of Bride, but Bride I have a little bit more investment into her, and she revives and hits people that I like. And I also have the artifact on her that heals her when she does her ultimate. So she's more protected in here. I'm not. We will see what will happen with Peacemaker's artifact because it's awesome and maybe it will be better on other characters, but they probably have designed it to work a little bit better on Peacemaker. So they kind of outsealed that, but we can get to a second ultimate with Wonder Woman now. Ooh, that's crazy. Okay, we lost that, but a Peacemaker definitely wasn't the reason we lost that. He's very beefy in there, and I have. Let's try to find a replay. Okay, that's a replay where they won. Let's see them in action. They have won actually like 80% of the matches today. I'm losing because of my other teams. But before I brought Peacemaker in here, they weren't as strong. They were winning like maybe 50-60% of the matches. So I feel like they're better with Peacemaker. He's a beefy character in the front row that can take some damage. He can heal your teammates if you kill them, like now heal them up. He has like the buff that he gives that it's 50% less damage for the back row for everyone, but he protects the back row. So yeah, very very beefy. Let's try to find a different one. Okay. So I like it here because only Zatanna is superpower damage dealer, and she's not one of the first person that uses her ultimate. Also, the reason she does that is to cleanse buffs from the opponents. That also heals her. Also, like I have his emblem smaller than the rest of the team and less investment to his gear, but he still holds his ground and contributes by staying alive and giving them shelter, by being a beefy tank in the front row that they can take some hits. He also doesn't have a great artifact on him. I just have HP on him at the moment because I needed the better artifacts on other characters that do something more important at the moment. So yeah. We'll see what happens with the rest of his team. All of them look very strong. Peacemaker synergizes with them more, so you will be having more like armor breaks, so he will be doing more damage. Yeah, I didn't rush to upgrade his emblem to 20 because if when Eagle hits someone with fragile, he always lands a crit. Now the only fragile I have from the comp that I have him in is by Eagle himself putting hitting prioritizing a character with that has the most armor break, and he puts one sack of fragile for 2 turns. So the second turn he's gonna hit. If it's the same character that has the most armor break, he's gonna have a crit that is 100%. Also have like the crit 5% here. Okay, so maybe he will hit someone else. Maybe you would have killed the opponents, but if you have also like Judo Master and Vigilante adding more fragile, so Eagle can more likely hit on his extra hits, go after people that have a fragile, not just rely on him putting it on a character. And first of all, you lose the crit on the first turn, and then maybe the second if he's alive and he's the second person. Yeah, so you wouldn't benefit immensely at the moment from that, so I'm not rushing it necessarily, but with his full team you probably would benefit more. He also gains damage reduction and physical damage reduction is the second one, HP bonus and defense bonus. That's nice for a tank. Also for artifacts, as I said, I have like the one that gives him 45,000 HP to have him a little bit beefier. He also has like 27,000 by it being fully upgraded, for like the rank, not the tier. You could definitely do like either like the Atlantean helmet or even the sticks to some degree, or the Ben's Venom, but they are very important characters at the moment that fulfill a more important role. Those two need to do an ultimate to do something, and at the moment I have Peacemaker doing his ultimate last. This is on a character that at the moment I feel like benefits more because it's already kind of a weak team. Plus, I'm kinda expecting his helmet to be the best on him and to work better with him. So I'm saving the random coordinates that I'm always buying the 1 per day here. I'm doing the 2 assists per day here to give me the extra 2 per day. And I'm saving those. I also have like many diamonds hoarded up. So when it goes in here, I might even like pull Chronos Gauntlet more. I also have those 2 here saved because as far as I remember, it's an elite one, it's not an epic one. So I can upgrade it quicker. I'm losing out a little bit, like I would be great to have this maxed out, but okay, then I can pull this and not waste the 2 here and have a Peacemaker's artifact higher up quicker, so I'm betting more on that. Also I'm saving like the diamonds for, I'm not buying those here to pull then his epic. Also the best team I've tried so far here, haven't tested too much, just simmed it a few times here, is this team, especially having also Matthew doing his ultimate a little bit faster. He does decent damage. Originally I was thinking like physical damage reduction here would be better to have like superpower damage dealers, and that might be the case. At the moment, Sinestro haven't helped me do a better score, but Wonder Woman's still doing like most of the damage here. Okay, her ultimate is first, but doesn't seem like he's getting 75% physical damage reduction. And rank 13 is not too bad. It was like rank 11 when I did it. Would be nice for people to stay in the top 50 if they can, because they give you more rewards.